Rob Sanders. I'm here every day from 3 to 4 o'clock. They should give me more time, but I can't beat it out of them. All right. Happy to be with you here today. We're going to talk about the NFL draft because it's kind of what everyone's talking about. And why not? We'll get into that, but I'm going to come at it from a different perspective. My perspective is this. Look, I'll tell you later on where I think certain players are going to go, who I think is the best player in the draft. We'll go through all of that. Okay. We'll give you your typical draft show because everyone will be watching the draft tonight. We know that. We know that the SEC apologists will be talking about we have the most players picked in there. We'll hear all of that tonight. They're already calling it the draft title, which is the dumbest thing on the planet. Dumbest thing on the planet. So we'll go ahead and tell you we'll have that tonight where people that support 7 and 5 teams that ride coattails of Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. We'll talk about they play in the toughest conference on the planet because they had more players drafted in the draft, even though no one knows how great these players are going to be. They don't really know. And to be honest, no one knows until they actually get out there on the field and do something. But the people that are football nitwits, they'll hitch that with you tonight about we have the most players drafted. That makes us the absolute best ever. So you'll get some of that tonight. So that's coming down the pipe. But I've also got a story about that Bill Self says the NCAA is out of control. I'm going to let you marinate on that a minute. I can't go back to that dumb. But we're going to start with what you don't want to do, which is end up on one of the biggest, have your guy that you draft be one of the biggest draft busts in NFL history, which is what I've got in front of me here. What I've done is I've went and found some guys that I thought should be on the list, and I found some guys that a lot of other people thought should be on the list. As JetMec picked up on that quick. Kansas basketball calling some other organization out of control. Very good. JetMec is listening closely. We'll get into that this afternoon in a little bit. But I've got the biggest NFL draft bust. And I thought we would go through some of them here. A lot of them are modern day folks too. I didn't really go back to like the 70s or, the first set of the draft. But let's start with Matt Leinart. Quarterback from Southern Cal, picked 10th overall. Guy won the Heisman, was supposed to take over for Kurt Warner in Arizona, but Leinart lost the job to Derek Anderson and was released. He did start 17 games, managing to win 7 of them. So he was 7-10 as the 10th pick in the draft. That's not good, sir. Also, Derek Harvey, defensive end from Florida in the 2008 draft. Went to the Jacksonville Jaguars, got off to a poor start when he held out. Holding out is not a good thing. If you're a rookie player, you're already cast into what you're making anyway. He played 3 seasons with the Jaguars. They replaced him in 2011, and he finished up with the Denver Broncos. He was out of the league by 2011. So 8th pick overall, out of the league in 3 years. That's not what you want tonight. Who remembers Kevin White, 2015 NFL draft, number 7 overall to the Chicago Bears? People thought that White and Amari Cooper were basically the same wide receiver. Cooper panned out a little bit better, obviously. But White dealt with injuries, including shin, fibula, and shoulder problems as well. Was with the Bears for 4 years, played with the Cardinals, 49ers, and Saints. Not too much of anything when you are the number 7 pick in the draft. Also on my list of draft bust, Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen, remember him? Yeah, he's on there too. This guy was a quarterback at UCLA, 10th overall. Went to the Arizona Cardinals. And this guy he made 13 starts as a rookie, but was all over the place. So, yeah, Josh Rosen on the list here of NFL draft busts. Was with the 49ers, the Buccaneers, all over the place. Also on the list, Dion Jordan, 2013 NFL draft. Jetmeck with another great comment. He thought Rosen was a bust in college. Good point. Dion Jordan, edge rusher from Oregon, 2013 draft. Number 3 pick overall to Miami. Couldn't figure out where he was supposed to play, basically. Got a season-long suspension for violating the league's substance abuse policy after not playing at all in 2016. Bounced around the Seahawks, Raiders, 49ers through 2020. And he's out of the league now. Let's see here. Oh, in honor of my Packers, Rich Campbell, a guy they got from California in 1981, number 6 overall in the draft, never made a start for them. Picked 6th overall, never made a start. That's not what you want. Also on the list, Justin Gilbert, cornerback for Oklahoma State, 2014 draft, number 8 overall to the Cleveland Browns. So they also picked Johnny Manziel in the same draft. Think about that. The Browns basically got rid of this guy in 2 years. 8th overall to gone. Justin Blackman, 2012 draft, number 5 overall to the Jaguars. Jaguars keep coming up on this list. They can't draft. He did catch 64 passes for 865 yards in 14 starts, but he couldn't stay on the field in year 2. Suspended all of year 3, his final season in the NFL, failing multiple times to stay clean enough as far as drugs. The drugs got him, man. Drugs got him. Not what you want. Also on the list, and you don't get these very often, a running back from Alabama, Trent Richardson. Yes, had a great junior season, won the Doak Walker Award. Everybody thought this guy's going to be the next big thing. Traded to the Colts early during the 2013 season. Didn't play it down for the Colts in 2015 after being there with the Browns. What a mess. More draft busts in a moment. Let's go out to the phones. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. And welcome into the rundown. Good afternoon.
Rob, I just wanted to be the first to wish you a happy Kirby Smart Day today, sir.
What is it? You get your khakis on sale at Kmart for $1?
Yeah, that's all. It's all funny, good stuff. Brilliant. Listen, I just wanted to know how it feels to continue to stick that tiny little foot in your mouth day after day, bashing Kirby Smart. Meanwhile, he's going to provide about half the first-round draft picks. Keep in mind, all those guys were recruited by and developed by one Kirby Smart.
Okay,
what do you think about that?
Well,
give me your thoughts.
First of all, I haven't said anything negative about Kirby Smart since he finally got over the hump where he had all of those classes and finally won a national title. Okay? Said great things about Kirby Smart. Maybe you should get the people in the nursing home that you're in to turn up your hearing aid battery. Okay? Because I haven't said anything negative about Kirby Smart since he won the title. I've moved on. I have new people to make fun of. I talk about your alleged boyfriend there in Jimbo Fisher, even though they won't let you in the state of Texas with those skinny jeans that you wear. I've moved on from Kirby Smart. So there you go with that.
It's one thing to throw jabs back and forth and to debate sports with one another, but to just out and out, just blatantly lie like you just did is
lie
just
about
a shame,
what?
Rob.
Lie about
it's
what?
A new low.
Lie about what? What have I lied about? I haven't said anything negative about Kirby Smart. Not since he won the national title. I said I don't like him as a coach, but he has climbed that mountain.
Okay, so if I look back through the last just few shows, you will not have mentioned how he fails to develop quarterbacks.
Yeah, but that's just
anytime.
common knowledge. It's not me ripping him and saying he can't get over the hump, and that he wasn't. Georgia was overpaying him, and he should give his money back to Georgia because he's basically stealing from him. Yeah, I said all of that before he won the national title. But once he won the national title, hey man, he went with an overly talented team that he put together, and he won. So we don't argue with hardware here.
You are truly a spin doctor, sir. You are truly a spin.
I hate the fact that I put facts together and it hurts your feelings.
Yeah.
There are people that make safe spaces for folks like you if you need that.
Yeah. Common knowledge, you can't develop a quarterback. I believe he just took a 0-star walk-on and won a national title.
Do you want to put it on the bookcase of accountability that you're on the Stetson Bennett train for this season after the spring game that he played, and you wouldn't want Carson Beck out there throwing the ball? Go ahead and put that out there now. I'll mark the tape. Let me make sure I got it right here. I'm writing it down now that you are a Stetson Bennett guy and you don't want anything to do with Carson Beck. Write this down.
Would love to put that on the old bookcase of accountability.
Yeah, but you don't have the satchel to do it. You don't have the satchel to do it because you don't want to stand behind that. Because if he goes out and he throws for a couple of picks in a game and you don't have that world-beating defense that you had last year, you might lose some games this season.
I'm just not sure there's room on that bookcase, sir, with all the manure that has just been
I've got the special trash can there for yours. You've got your own trash can here, sir.
If you can shovel enough of your own manure out of the way, go ahead and put it up there on the bookcase.
All right, well, I don't want to hear anything from you. You are a Stetson Bennett guy. You should go to Bet Online or wherever and make sure you put some money on him winning the Heisman because that's your guy. That's the guy you want. Yeah, buddy. He looks like Where's Waldo, but that's your guy. He's not a dwarf, is he? Like you said before, he's not one of those guys. No. He's your guy. Champion.
Clearly, it is still burning in your gut, sir. It is still burning.
I can't help it. You can't keep up with my wits, sir. I can't.
I know why you're in a bad mood.
I'm not in a bad mood. I've been in a great mood all day. What are you talking about?
It sure doesn't seem so. I just if I had to sit there and watch pick after first round pick being coached and developed by Kirby Smart, a guy who I just continued to bash for basically a year and a half now, I'd be in a bad mood too. As a sports broadcast guy, that would put me in a bad mood.
Well, let me tell you a little bit. Let me tell you a little bit about me, okay? I only care about what my Green Bay Packers do. I don't really care about all that other stuff. I don't care. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Is this a Green Bay Packers show?
I'm telling you, I'm the only team I care about drafting is the Green Bay Packers when it comes to the NFL. That's the only one I care about.
Yeah. Well, maybe next year they will draft Uyungale or whatever his name is. Itchy guy, yada yada.
We have a quarterback, sir. We don't need a quarterback.
Yeah. All right, Rob. Well, listen, 43-18, sir.
You have a wonderful day, sir. All right, there you go. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That's the number to dial if you'd like to join us here on The Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400. Please have your thoughts in order, though, when you call. Try not to scramble and square dance like our friend Peg and Megan there, because that's pretty much what was happening there. I mean, he reminded me of Heath Schuler. At one point, he was great, and then he got drafted number 3 overall to the Redskins and was terrible. He makes my all-time draft bust list. So there's that. Also on the list, next up on the list here, Steve Itman from Washington, number 1 pick overall to the Colts. He did have a 90-yard interception return for a touchdown on his resume. That was during his rookie season, but was the biggest highlight of his career, as injuries pretty much ended his career. So he makes the top 10. Number 9 on my list, though, is Johnny Manziel. 2014 NFL draft, number 22 overall to the Browns. Just the Browns they just don't draft quarterbacks very well. Let's leave it at that. Don't forget Brian Bosworth, the linebacker from Oklahoma. He's on the list. He was a supplemental draft pick at number 1 of the Seattle Seahawks. Everybody thought he was going to be great. I remember Bo Jackson running him over. That was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. Also, Charles Rogers, the wide receiver at Michigan State 2003 draft to the Lions. Put together a couple of good seasons at Michigan State, but didn't really pan out for the Lions. All right, I'll give you my top 5 as far as draft busts when we come back. Here on the rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400, of course, around the world on the iHeartRadio app. Feel free to join the show, 803-978-01832. As we roll along here on draft day, this is the rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400. I'm not a Giants fan. Sorry, Papa B. I might agree with what Daniel said there. Jackpot with a good point there. Gunner Jackass. We'll highlight that. Good comment there from my buddy Jackpot, who knows his football. Can you imagine if Jackpot supported an actually good team? I'll tell you what, the world will spontaneously combust if the Gamecocks ever win the SEC in football. Jackpot's head will explode. I'm dead serious. Gamecocks win the SEC, Jackpot's head will explode. There is not enough beer in the upstate for Jackpot. Peg and Megan, you need to stop. I can go back and get where you called him a dwarf right here on this show. You need to stop. Baylor Man Jackpot thinks they're going to win by 30. Welcome back to the rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400 around the world on the iHeartRadio app. All right, we have reached my top 5 as far as big time busts in the NFL. Number 5 on the list, Tony Mandarich, the offensive tackle from Michigan State. Of course, to my Green Bay Packers, number 2 overall. Here's the thing. The next 3 picks after Green Bay took him at 2. Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, and Dion Sanders. Those are your 3 picks after him. All of them went into the Hall of Fame. And yeah, didn't really help when you think about that from the 89 draft. Number 4 on the list, Kajana Carter going to the Cincinnati Bengals, number 1 overall pick in 1995. He did have 23 touchdowns 1 year in college, which made the Bengals trade up for him. Had a preseason knee injury in his rookie year, more injuries the rest of his NFL career. He started 14 games in 5 years for the Bengals. That's good enough for number 4 on the list. Number 3 is Achilles Smith. 1999 NFL draft, number 3 overall to the Bengals. And the Bengals have had some horrible drafts. Didn't really have much production in college, but they picked him at number 3. Started 17 games in 4 years, 3-14 record, 5 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. We're going to have number 2 and number 1 in a moment. Let's go out to the phones, 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. Welcome into the program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. Listen, are you on satellite radio?
No. Why?
Are you on? You're not on satellite?
No.
Oh, well, I won't be able to pick you up in Florida.
Well, you can watch the show live on your Facebook page, sir. I'd love to follow you on Facebook.
Yes, I bet you would.
I'm serious. I bet you put out some good stuff. You seem like the kind of guy that you would put out like chili recipes and I don't know.
And what nursing home Megan in?
It's Peg and Megan, sir. And it's somewhere down in Florida. I don't know exactly where it is.
It's somewhere around Jacksonville area.
Right.
I know
Yeah,
right.
It's in Jacksonville from what I understand. And you have to yell really loud because they don't put batteries in his hearing aids.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I hear him boasting and bragging just because he got top 10 picks. Yeah. Hey, that don't mean they're gonna pan out in the NFL.
Yeah, that's the best part. Oh, look at all these guys. Kirby Smart got drafted.
Yeah, that don't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything.
It don't mean anything.
Nope.
When you get to the next level.
You're exactly right.
See what they do this year.
Yeah. It's a good point,
I'll give you a shout out before I get on the road.
Well, you be safe down there, and I hope you have safe travel, sir.
No doubt.
All right, man. You have a great day, man. Stay safe.
All
right, there you go. Apparently, he's going to try to find that nursing home that Peg and Megan's in and go visit him. I hear that he likes those little, what are the little caramel candies? Get him some of those. He likes those. Get the sugar-free ones, though. You don't want to mess with his sugar. Anyway, the number 2 overall bust in the NFL draft goes to Ryan Leaf from Washington State, 1998 NFL draft, number 2 overall to the Chargers. Of course, he was right there with Peyton Manning. Poor off-field behavior and injuries, 13 touchdowns, 33 interceptions, 48.8 rating, and a record of 4-14 in 18 starts for the Chargers. They got rid of him after basically 2 seasons. So there you go with that. And number 1, ladies and gentlemen, goes to Jamarcus Russell, 2007 pick by the Oakland Raiders. And this guy was from LSU and was just strong as all get out. Strong as all get out. Held out in training camp. Started 1 game during his rookie year with the Raiders. Team dumped him in 2010 after 25 starts in 3 seasons. A record of 7-18. And Russell never saw the field again in the NFL. So, yeah. There you go with my NFL draft bust of all time. I put those out there because if you are an NFL GM like tonight, you don't want to end up having that on your radar. It's not easy. Not easy to evaluate talent. And a lot of times you can be a simpleton and say, you know what? This guy played at Georgia under Kirby Smart. He could be the best guy ever. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's a great player. Hollywood laid that out for you. In fact, where they played may not tell you all that you need to know about them. May not. Remember, I can think of guys like Josh Allen. He didn't play in the SEC. He played at Wyoming. I mean, SEC fans don't want, to hear about that. There are no good football players that play outside of the SEC. Rob, you're stupid. Yeah. I mean, Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He played at Wyoming. Imagine that. Tom Brady played at Michigan. He didn't go to the SEC. People don't want to hear about that either. I mean, we can go on and on and on down the line. It'll just be fun tonight to watch the simpletons, because that's what you are. Oh, we're the absolute best ever. All the best players come from the SEC. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sure they do. Sure they do. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. Papa B with a good point here. How about all of those Alabama quarterbacks that ended up being dog crap? Yeah, that happens a lot. You could look at them with the knowledge of, hey, they played at Alabama. They were a quarterback. They won all them games. Yeah, that didn't work out too well. If you're a good general manager, you have to look past some of that. And you got to do what Levon Kirkland said yesterday. Look at the tape and see if they can actually play. If they can play, that's who you draft. You don't go with this whole thing of where they played. No, look at their tape and see what they did. That's the way that it goes. All right, quick break and we come back. I will give you my projections for what I think is going to happen in the first round. Captain Trips Online says, I could look good playing quarterback for Alabama. Good point, sir. Good point. I'll give you my predictions for the first round. We'll see how that works out. As we roll along here on the rundown this afternoon, we'll take your calls as well at 803-978-1832. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I'll be tweeting tonight about the draft at Rob Sounds Good. Be sure to follow me there. Thanks to everybody downloading the podcast. It'll be up about 5 o'clock today. More of the rundown when we come back on Fox Sports Radio 1400. Captain Trips, tell us your top 25 coaches. I still don't want Kirby Smart. Sorry. You guys can have him. He looks like Shemp from the Three Stooges. Keep him. Get all those championships you think you're going to get. I mean, I think you guys are a one-hit wonder. We'll see, though. Still don't want him. Don't care. You guys can have him. I can respect what he done, but I don't have to like him. The Panthers, I think, may screw up their number one pick. Welcome back to the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400 around the world on the iHeartRadio app. Welcome into the program. Good afternoon.
Hey, Rob. How's it going?
Hey, man. How are you?
Doing excellent. Hey, listen, I think you need to add a new addition to the NFL bust list.
Who you got?
As much as it pains me to say this as a Georgia fan, you got to put Isaiah Wilson on there. He's been cut from three different things. Three different teams in 2 years?
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Here's the thing about that. I thought about that, but I didn't really think that was fair, considering the fact that he had COVID the first year, and I gave him the COVID year, which is why he didn't make the list. But you can make an argument for that, but I thought that I would just piss off the Georgia fans that watch the show and listen to the show, and they'd be like, Rob is just ripping Georgia. I mean, the guy did have COVID. You got to give him a little bit more time.
Well, I'm a Georgia fan. You can rip Isaiah Wilson. He was an idiot. And let me say this about the NFL draft tonight. If these GMs want to pass on the Kobe Dean, they're going to spend the next 10 years getting their butts kicked by him, okay?
How far do you think he's going to fall?
I don't know, but I just know that watching the Kobe Dean play this past year especially, that's a guy that's going to be set at middle linebacker or outside linebacker or wherever you want to put him anywhere. I mean, the fact that there's a narrative out there that he could be falling in the draft, I think these NFL GMs overthink the room sometimes. I mean, you never know. I mean, guys that get hurt or whatever, but Kobe Dean's one of the best linebackers I've ever seen from our program. And that's high praise considering that we churned out Roquan Smith 4 years ago. So
look, I think that there's also, sometimes if a guy is like a projected middle of the first round pick, okay, I think that there'll be some coaches that will basically send out weather balloons that are like, okay, we think he's great, but then there may be this or there may be that, trying to get that guy to drop into the second round so they can give him second round money and then use the first round pick on someone else. I truly believe that happens. I really do.
Well, I think you're right. But if that does happen, then you're poking the bear, because I just remember seeing the look of death in the Kobe Dean's eyes right before that Michigan game, and just multiply that by 10 times 10, and that's what's going to happen in the NFL. So these GMs are going to live to regret that decision, I believe. But it's up to them.
Well, we shall see, and I think that he's one of the best linebackers in the draft, so we'll see what happens.
All right, sir. Have a good one.
All right, man. Appreciate it. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. All right, here is my picks for the NFL draft. With the Jacksonville Jaguars, I am going with Aiden Hutchinson at Michigan, even though I think they should take Trayvon Walker because I think that he is the safer pick. I think they'll go with Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan simply because the Jacksonville Jaguars are not very bright. I mean, that's basically what it boils down to. And with that, the number 2 pick in the draft will go to the Detroit Lions, who normally can't draft worth a damn anyway. They're going to get Trayvon Walker. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think they'll go with the senior first, and then they'll go with Walker after that. The Houston Texans are hot dog water, like recycled, basically. Seriously. I think they're going to get Ike Ukwanu from NC State, the offensive tackle. They're rated as the best offensive tackle in the draft. So they got a lot of problems. We'll see about that. The number 4 pick goes to the New York Jets. They need a lot. I think they're going to go with the cornerback from Cincinnati, Sauce Gardner. So they need playmakers everywhere. You might as well start with on the defensive side of the ball. The New York Giants. You know, when I look at them, I think they should go with Kayvon Thibodeau, but I think that they're going to go with Evan Neal, the tackle from Alabama. And when they do that, they'll have Andrew Thomas on one side and him on the other, basically, and they'll have basically bookends at tackle. And I just think that that's kind of the smart thing to do. By the way, they picked up the 5th-year option on Dexter Lawrence's contract today, but did not to pick up Daniel Jones's 5th year. So that's interesting too. All right, 6 with the Carolina Panthers. I think they could trade this pick. I really do. But if they stay put, I think they're going to get the big man, Charles Cross from Mississippi State. And I think they're going to try to solidify that line a little bit. The Giants, by the way, they have the number 7 pick that they got from Chicago. I think they're going to go with Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver from Ohio State. At number 8, the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, they could just throw something at a dartboard. They need players everywhere. But I think they're going to take Jameson Williams from Alabama. With the 9th pick, the Jets, I think, are going to take from, let's see here. From Southern Cal, the wide receiver Drake London. So there you go with that. Also in the first round, at 11, I've got Chris Olave. I think he's a better wide receiver than his teammate above, but I think he's going to go to the Commanders. At 12, quite possibly the most NFL-ready pick in the draft, in my opinion, Derek Stingley Jr. from LSU going to the Vikings at 12 just makes a lot of sense. I mean, it really does. The Houston Texans getting one of those picks from Deshaun Watson when he went to Cleveland. This would have been Cleveland's pick in the first round. They're going to take Jermaine Johnson, I believe, the edge rusher from Florida State. The Baltimore Ravens, I like Jordan Davis. Of course, the defensive tackle from Georgia going to the Ravens. And, basically trying to rebuild that Ravens defense. At 15, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're probably going to go defense. And Kyle Hamilton, the safety from Notre Dame, seems like the pick to take there. At 16, I've got the Saints taking the offensive tackle from Northern Iowa, Trevor Penning. People are talking about he's just a plug-and-play guy there at left tackle. At 17, I got the Chargers taking Florida cornerback Kair Elam. At 18, Trent McDuffie going to the Philadelphia Eagles as the Eagles try to work on their secondary a little bit. The Saints, by the way, have 2 picks in the first round. And I think they're going to go with number 19. They're going to go with the linebacker from Utah, Devin Lloyd. At 20, this is where it gets interesting, in my opinion. I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to take Kenny Pickett. Good old he's going to play at Heinz Field just like he played in college. And I've got him at number 20. Dakota says Jordan Davis is going to the Chargers. Okay. So, yeah. Elijah says Will Levis drinks hot dog water. You might be right. The New England Patriots, if they don't trade this pick, they'll take Boston College inside interior lineman Zion Johnson. My Packers, they've got a pick from Las Vegas at 22. They're going to take Treylon Burks, the wide receiver from Arkansas. They got to figure out who's going to take over for Devontae Adams, who's now in Las Vegas. By the way, if you're Treylon Burks, you want to go up there and play with Aaron Rodgers in your rookie season. We'll finish up the first round when we come back. This is Fox Sports Radio 1400. USFL picks are on Friday, Justin. Not picking them today. Not picking them today. Is anybody really watching the USFL? I watch a little bit, but I'm not watching like I normally would for football. It's something nice, though. And no one cares. No one cares. The guy with less talent, Dabo Swinney, has 2 national titles. Kirby Smart has 1. How's that working out for you? Yeah. All that talent. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That's the number to dial if you'd like to join us here on the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400. Another dumb comment from Peg and Megan I want to share with you. Kirby Smart has put more guys in the draft than the entire ACC. Then why does he only have 1 national title? Because under your logic, Dabo Swinney hasn't put those guys in the draft. He's got 2 national titles in 6 years? How's that working out for you? Yeah, you win the head-to-head. Congratulations. You know what? You finally have a banner to hang that's worth a damn down there in Athens because you won the national title. If not, you guys would have hung the Clemson banner. We beat Clemson. Yay! Georgia fans are silly sometimes. Some are very smart. There are some smart Georgia fans. Harry Legg, who watches online, he's a pretty smart guy. And then some are like Peg and Megan. Just silliness across the board. Anyway, what did I do with the rest? Oh, here's the rest of my draft. And at number 23, I've got Purdue edge rusher George Karlaftis going to the Arizona Cardinals because they really need to get somebody that can get after the passer. I've got Jahan Dotson, the Penn State wide receiver, going to Dallas. The Buffalo Bills will get Breece Hall, the running back from Iowa State, at 25. And I think he'll be a guy that will make some plays there for the Bills. I really do think he'll be good. The Tennessee Titans, I think, are going to get the offensive tackle from Tulsa, Tyler Smith. Tampa Bay Bucks will go with defensive lineman from Houston, Logan Hall. America's team, the Green Bay Packers, I think are going to draft Quay Walker from Georgia. If he falls that far, he may get drafted before then. The Kansas City Chiefs have pick number 29 and 30. I think they're going to go with Minnesota edge rusher Boy Mafe. And then I think they're going to draft George Pickens, which the more and more you read about him, people will tell you, man, he's got a ton of talent. Ton of talent. Absolute ton of talent. But there are people that will also tell you that he's not very mature and that he's battled injuries. He can't help the injuries, by the way. But maturity is something that you can hold against him. I don't know. I didn't coach him. But it seems like there are a lot of people that think that he is not the most mature individual. But Andy Reid can take a risk on this guy, bringing him in to play with Pat Mahomes, and hopefully guys that are on the team like Travis Kelce and stuff like that can keep this guy squared away, and hopefully he'll have a good career. But as far as overall talent, I've seen some draft boards where Pickens is as high as 15. I think he's like the second or third rated wide receiver as far as numbers in several different drafts. But the reality is that people question his maturity, and that's what ends up dropping you. At number 31, the Cincinnati Bengals will get Michigan edge rusher David Ojabo. 32, burp, burp, burp. I think the Detroit Lions will take Malik Willis. Yes, I know they've got Jared Goff, but I think they're going to take the young man from Liberty, and I think that he's going to have probably a pretty good season. They've got St. John up there, and I think those two will be the young combination that will lead the Lions later on. All right, if you want to get into that, 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. Big Barney Ross says, truth is, with this year's quarterback situation going into the draft, Stetson Bennett would have had a splendid chance to get drafted this year. Okay. All right, final story of the day. Kansas coach Bill Self says the NCAA is out of control. Of course, he told Mark Berman of Fox 26 that the current college landscape is out of control. I think it's bad. After acknowledging that coaches can come and go as they please, Self offered his perspective to Berman. In theory, kids should be able to move too, but it's out of control right now, where the reason they are moving is because I can get a bigger NIL deal somewhere else. I'm not sure the reason we're moving are for the right reasons. Well, sir, let's look at it from this perspective. If you can make $200,000 for going somewhere else as an 18-year-old, why wouldn't you do that? 803-978-1832. Let's go out to the phones. Welcome into the rundown. Good afternoon.
Hey, well, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, hey, well, I got two questions to ask you before I get off, man. And well, I was at this point with the Jesse commit, but we knew it was going to go North Carolina. When you make a coach change, it's hard to do, you know what?
Right, yeah, and I think that Frank Martin said it best. He probably would have went to South Carolina if Frank Martin was here, so.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well, my second question is, I hope the Carolina Panthers get a good pick, but they're going to have to tell a lot of picks to get Deebo Samuel, you know?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get Deebo Samuel. Hey, man, I appreciate you calling the show, but thank you for calling, man. Yeah, I don't think they're going to get Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel might get traded tonight, but we'll see. All right, finishing up with Bill Self here. It gets to a point where I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that goes on with the transfer portal and everything else, but it's kind of hard. It's un-American, in my opinion, to tell a young man, look, you stay at this school, even though this coach has told you you're not good enough to be on the starting five here on this basketball team. You stay here and you make $0 when you could transfer from Kansas to, say, Mizzou and be a starter there, and you're going to make $250,000. It's the landscape of what college basketball is right now. Bill Self is just angry that he's not going to be able to have 5 stars coming off the bench. That's the way that it works. And a lot of these coaches that are complaining and griping about it, it's the same thing. I'm not saying that I completely agree with the way that the NIL set up or the transfer portal is set up, but it is what we have to deal with now. And if it's the way that it is the way that we have to deal with things, and coaches have to adapt or die. It's basically the way it boils down to it. Baylor man says he cheats. Yeah. And to tell you what kind of organization that they have up there in the Kansas athletic department, they fired, first of all, they were putting out pictures saying they were the only team in the country to have a coaching combo that won national titles. where they had a picture of Bill Self and Les Miles standing there together, even though Les Miles didn't win anything at Kansas. They put that out on their social media. But then when they fired the athletic director, went away because of the Les Miles was a scumbag stuff, they gave Bill Self a lifetime contract without an athletic director there. They just basically said, you know what? You just do whatever you want to, Bill Self. They knew that sanctions and all of that are coming too, by the way. If there was a righteous thing on this planet, it would be they have to vacate the national title they had last year because of all the stuff that they did. That won't happen, though, because they'll use the same terminology North Carolina used when it comes to the NCAA. Touch me and I'll sue. That's what Tennessee needs to do. Get all your money together and find your favorite lawyer and have them write up something saying basically the same thing North Carolina did. If you try to suspend us for the fact that we stuffed money into McDonald's bags and basically broke the rules, touch me and I'll sue. What's the NCAA going to do? It's like a toothless chihuahua. They'll bite you. They'll look like they're doing something to you, but in reality, it doesn't hurt. You pop them in the mouth, they go sit in the corner and shake. That's basically what they do. And then they'll come back out later on and try to pop somebody else. 8:03. Actually, I am out of time. Look at that. I ran my mouth too much. Lawton Swan of Clemson Sports Talk is next. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Enjoy the draft tonight. I will be tweeting at Rob Sounds Good. And I'm watching the basketball game. More of the rundown tomorrow on Fox Sports Radio 1400. All right. Appreciate you guys, man. Poor Jay. Y'all have a great day.